Ilugbo, a PR practitioner, social development advocate. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Now, a really sad incident in Ibadan. Look at the level of destruction, the number of lives lost. We hear that it has gotten to 5 as it is. Though they haven't gotten to the ground level, according to what the National Emergency Management Agency is saying there in the state. But let's get your perception of what happened in Ibadan.
Well, what happened that day, I happened to be in Ibadan myself that day.
Right.
And my house would be like 5-kilometer line of sight to the epicenter. Like about 5 kilometers line of sight. I was just driving into the compound and I just locked my front door and I was walking towards my staircase and I heard that bang. And the next thing, it looked like somebody was running into my door. It was a wooden door. The door shook. And I was calling my wife upstairs. I said, what happened? She said nothing, that she heard the sound too. I called her through the neighborhood, through the window to my neighbor, because I'm the chairman of the community association.
Right.
I said, what happened in the neighborhood? And the man said, maybe some people blasting stone in a well. I said, with that sound, if it was a well, the well itself would have collapsed. The house they wanted to...
Would have caved in.
Would have caved in. It was horrible. So we started looking around, trying to call. Somebody said there was one filling station that exploded in Bodija. We were doing that one, then the next thing, it started coming out that, no, it was an explosion. We were careful. We were careful to say that it was bomb. You know, but after a while now, with my visit to the site the following day, because when it turned out that this was at, everybody was saying Dejo Ilese, and that was where I spent all my bachelor years. You know, in that community. I had known virtually everybody in that neighborhood, at least in the whole. We had many people there, many government officials. Former Vice Chancellor of UI lives in that neighborhood, and many other people. So we went there. I was actually at the site, at the epicenter, and I saw the carnage. It was nothing short of what you see on television when you hear stories about Afghanistan, you know, and Ukraine. It was massive. I was there when they were doing all of those moving of those equipment. It was terrible.
It's this situation reminds me of what happened years ago at Amodofin area, particularly at Bulishoba, when a gas explosion happened and scattered the entire area there, large expanse, and left people homeless and the likes. Like earlier, before we went on, she had asked about the license of the miners. The government said they are illegal miners, but do we say they are illegal miners when documents have been found and they were, so to speak, allowed to work there? Is that place supposed to be a mining site, actually?
They stored
No. I think the man himself at the center of the whole thing has come out. He has made statement. If what I read in the media is anything to rely on, he has come out to say that, well, they have license. As a matter of fact, he's even the president of Mining Association. The question that bothers me, with my little experience as an investigative journalist in my early days of my career, when I went to that site, I'm asking one question. If it is said that they store, this was their residential apartment, the operation site is far from in Okeogun.
So they stored
Okeogun.
mining explosives.
Yeah, where we're talking about Okeogun, will be like 4-hour drive or 5-hour drive from where they are. That's away totally from Ibadan. Now, if they say they are storing explosive that is to be
mining
used,
explosives, that's what they said.
Mining explosives.
Yes.
Mining explosives.
Yeah.
Now, the information coming out is that these people are mining solid minerals.
Right.
Okay. Do you blast solid minerals apart when you are mining them? So what tonnage of explosive do you need to use. If they say they're a quarry, I can relate easily with that.
Right.
That's number one. The other question that I'm asking is that from all the narrations that I've heard so far about this incident, everybody, if I spent time yesterday to read through all the report, everybody up to now referred to that incident as a blast.
Right.
One blast. It is not a cataclysm of blast. So if you have small grenades stored up in a place, I'm asking, if it goes off, does it go off in one sound? And this sound was not more than, it was not up to 5-second sound. It was a massive sound once.
And the impact?
And the impact went as far as 15 kilometers.
Destroying 58 houses, according to them, or more.
The one that they are talking about. There are houses that have all the sliding glasses shattered. I told you I'm about 5 kilometers away from the site. Right. If my main door was a glass door, it would have shattered because it was as good as a full adult like me running into the door. Now, so the question is this. Okay, let's agree that you have a carton here and you have 20 or 50 or 100 explosive inside. If it goes off, does it go off in one sound?
Right.
I will expect, I've spoken to some physicists to ask this question, and they are like, well, it's neither here nor there. But I'm saying if these are explosives that are supposed to be used for mining mineral, solid mineral, not quarry. If it goes off, when the Ikeja bomb blast occurred the other time, it was not one sound. It was explosion after explosion after explosion. And when you get to that spot, that crater that is in the center, that crater is about 15 feet deep.
Right.
Yeah, it's about 15 feet deep and about 20 feet wide, between 20 and 25 feet wide. Whatever will create that impact and will give one sound, I'm suspecting that it cannot just be an explosive
for mining. Right. Yeah, because the government is saying that people shouldn't think in the way of banditry or activities of terrorists, so to speak. But as it is, it means that there's more that we are yet to unravel as it is.
I'm sure. Let me really commend Governor Seyi Makinde for the time.
Swift reaction.
The swift reaction was amazing. It was amazing. Very commendable. Very commendable.
But Nigerians are not really satisfied with that.
But even at that, compared to the Nigeria we believe does not have response time at all. They are not only his presence, the presence of the first responders, and also the speed, relative speed at which they released a statement, which gave everybody a clear direction of what was happening. And the whole day, I was there from morning till like late afternoon until I got exasperated and I had to leave the place because I know that neighborhood and I could. At that time, they were still trying to identify whether people were under the rubble or not, with all the equipment and all this stuff. And it's a mess. It's a big mess.
Now, the government has said that those involved should be brought to book as it is. But then there's the other aspect of the involvement of these people. When you see something, say something. And that is where I want you to come in now. You've been talking about, that environment, that neighborhood. You spend your bachelorhood, so to speak, in that environment. What was it like? I mean, the communal life there, because the people, when you read some of the papers this morning, you find that people were making statements as, this person is not a Nigerian, they were afraid to speak, they knew he had always been doing this thing and all of that. He took his family away before the incident happened. Perhaps he knew that that was going to happen. There were so many reports just going here and there. So talk to us from this perspective, the role of the people, knowing that this person was carrying out this activity.
Well, there is a very growing despondency, let me put it that way, or lackadaisical attitude of our people about our community. The concept of security, we're losing it, and people just come around in our neighborhoods and this concept of mind your own business thing. This is where we are. This is where it has brought us. Because I remember while, I went around with my wife, going around to check on our friends and families that were there. One of them was saying that she used to attend the community security meeting. And it got to one point, she had to keep quiet because she sounded like a broken record. And she was the only person talking. But these issues, people can see it. But then, also, most of these people, when they have security, when you see them with security escort and all this kind of thing, the concept of people above the law also make this kind of a thing very difficult. Right. Because somebody who will have that resources, who has a mining site somewhere, definitely is fluid in cash. Right. He has security escort following him up and down. Is that the person you want to go and write a petition to? Even if you do, other people will be afraid. They'll be afraid they will come after them. So the people, I think the long and short of it is that what is our lesson learned? I think the lesson learned here is that now moving forward, people should start talking. They should start asking questions. Government should also create a platform where people can send this kind of notices. When people live abroad, they will talk about the Igbo man being a busybody. That woman who will just call police. I see 2 blacks walking in my neighborhood. Those are concepts of security that probably saving those environments. We don't have it here. We get so educated, so enlightened, we lock up. We just drive out, we open our gate, we drive out, we're coming back, we press our horn, we drive in, and we shut our door. We don't know who our neighbor is. We don't know what they are doing. We don't want to disturb anybody. We too don't want to get disturbed. That is where it has brought us.
But it's easy for us to say these kinds of things, but implementing them, understanding them is a problem, because we've had several disasters over the time in Lagos and other states, and after everything, after the dust had settled, we go back to square one, to where we started from. How do we move from there?
Well, for me, the issue for me all along in my concept of social development has been, we lack citizenship.
How do you mean?
There's no sense of citizenship in this country. We are not citizens of Nigeria. We are nationals. Where, if you ask me very well now, I will let you know that I'm from Osun State. If you probe me a little further and I see you are gaining edge, I will let you know I'm from Otan Igbaju, and that I'm from a ruling house. That will not happen if I'm a German or an American, a black person became, because it just, once you are an American, you're an American. The concept of citizenship, even in the neighborhood, somebody wants to build a house. He brings a 30-ton truck of granite and he pours it right into the drainage.
Yeah.
Nobody asks any question.
Right.
Yet we keep complaining.
That is the definition of citizenship. If there is citizenship, even if he dare to do it, somebody will go to him and say, no, you can't do this. If you try it in the contemporary Nigerian setting, Southwest majorly, if you try it, somebody says, what is it now? And especially when the person is a stranger. Right. We seem to have this concept of, we allow strangers in our midst. In fact, we protect strangers against our own. So they just come and say, after all, you know he's a stranger. Is it because he's a stranger? And those kind of things occur. So because there is lack of citizenship, if there is citizenship, we will take up these issues. Somebody will have called, somebody will have, and you will stand your ground. As long as the point you are raising is valid. So answering that, it will, I would not like to say that it will continue to happen.
But the concept of citizenship, you mentioned earlier about the VIPs.
Yes.
And how a particular woman that you spoke with complained and at the point began to sound like a broken record, and so she kept quiet. Yeah. So if we put in the concept of citizenship close side by side, how do we address the fact that we still have VIPs who seem above the law?
If there is citizenship, there will be...
Nobody will be above the law.
Nobody will be above the law.
Right.
The immediate past Prime Minister of England left office. As I saw the video, he went to a supermarket, pushing his bicycle, and people were taking pictures with him. That is a citizen. That is somebody who knows he's a citizen. That is when there is social contract. We provide security, we dig our borehole, we do our drainage. When there is no social contract between the government and the people, then you are begging a lot of questions. People, if I can do that for myself, the extent to which I can do it for myself, make me a superstar. And you cannot come and be telling me all of the, what's your business with what I'm doing in my house?
Right.
I rented it or I paid for it. I mean, it's your business. Look at the housing corporation where that incident occurred that was built by Awolowo. That was 100% residential area. 80% of property in Bodija today are commercial. And when you go to the people in the housing corporation, the aboriginals, the babas that own the place, when you go to housing corporation to go and complain, the people in housing will tell them, you have money, you bought your own. The other person to have money bought his own. So,
what's your business?
so those are issues. The other issue that I would also like to raise, which just come out, I mean, well, I would really want to make it a major issue, is the way some building collapsed that were not as close to that facility also need to be looked
Questioned.
into. Yes, because a new building, a shopping mall, just fell. There was
The integrity
of
the building.
Yeah, all this concept of build it in 3 months, service apartment, whatever it is,
Because we've seen a rise in developers in recent years, and
they
people just want to just do whatever.
POPs were just falling like pile of
But
cards.
let's quickly make judicious use of the time we have left in terms of government dealing with these issues. This matter of illegal mining has been on. We see what's going on in Zamfara State, how it is fueling banditry as it is. Even the Minister of Solid Minerals and Development, Dele Alaki, mentioned it last year while he was trying to defend his budget, that there are powerful persons behind this illegal mining that we are seeing happening in the country. Why is it so difficult for us to address this issue at the root? And if we are to, how do we go about it? And talking about punishment, what should be the
Before you
punishment?
talk about punishment, let us look at the framework.
Right.
What you call illegal mining, okay, now it has come to light. We've been highly speculated, but the substance are really there to hold. That the recent carnage in Plateau was because some mineral resources were found in a particular community.
Yeah.
I think it is time that the federal government should just move forward and devolve this concept of solid minerals. Let it belong to states. That will take care of a lot of things. A governor recently just announced that traditional rulers should stop giving licenses to miners.
Right.
I don't know whether that happened in the Southwest. You understand what I'm saying? As long as these resources are there, the whole world, they are looking at us. We don't see it. China can see it.
This person is said to be a foreigner.
He's a Malian. All the other nations of the world, where they have right-thinking people, where the government is also backing them up, they can see these resources. And they're doing everything to get at it. One of the things that we do, the federal government is omnibus. Let them give this portion of it to the state to manage. Let the state own their solid minerals. Then the state will protect it more because it's direct income. See what the man is telling the governor for your state now. Well, I have federal license. I don't owe you anything.
Right.
I mean, that is the summary of the matter. That when the Governor Lam was there, he tried to make an effort so that these things, when we mine them, we can process them. But other government have come, they didn't do anything about it. So it's like throwing it back to them, so you guys are not serious. It's as simple as that. If the state government owns these mining sites, and if the license is given by the state government, of course there'll be more money for state. Leave all the issues of they will mismanage the funds, many other things. It is for the fear of they will mismanage the fund that we are having all of these things. Anybody can just go to Abuja, get license, and come to your backyard and start mining. You don't have control over it. It shows you it's federal license, and you have no control over it. That is one key thing we can do that I believe will go a long way to resolve this challenge. It will localize the problem. Then the local authority there will also be able to deal with it.
Right. And so if we are now talking about getting to the root of this matter, dealing with the persons involved, because that's what the federal government is
What do you
saying.
want to deal with? The man said he has, like, he's registered. It has been confirmed. His company is registered with CAC.
Yeah.
They have
so it's not illegal?
It's not illegal. He said he pays his tax. What else?
So
He said he has built palaces. He has done community social responsibilities. So in other words, what else do you want?
So does that count?
And he has come around to say he has over 10,000 Nigerians working for him.
So how about...
And he has come to say that the Nigerians
the
are
losses
working for
that
him
have...
are lazy.
People have lost their buildings, they've lost their lives.
The losses that we have...
Their accommodation.
We have...
What
we have seen.
In that Bodija, if they put the bill together, will be close to 100
So
billion.
we will let him go because of all that he has done?
Well,
is that what you're
will
saying?
be now since the president has spoken, and I want to believe that the president, because that day, the president was supposed to be in Ibadan. That was the day that Baba Kande Foundation was launched.
Right.
So many governors, I was at the venue, I was at the event.
Right.
So many, all the Southwest governors were there. So many governors, even Zulum represented the vice president who was supposed to give keynote address. If not because of Femi Adesina's book that was launched in Abuja,
Right.
majority of them will have slept in Ibadan that day. So it's a national issue. All of them finished from Baba Konde's and rushed to Abuja. It's a national issue. Right. And governor has also spoken. Let us see the extent to which they will be able to do this. But believe you me, it's going to take a long time before the effect of this thing can go. So even the psychological trauma.
Absolutely. People are reeling from the impact of all of this, seeing their hard work go down the drain just like that.
And we'll just let... It was grounded to powder.
And I'm saying that we'll just, because of all the reasons he has given, we'll just let it slide. I don't think so, because there has to be closure for these people.
Definitely there will have to be. But which also, I looked at all the buildings and I'm saying, I'm not sure these buildings have insurance. I'm not sure the lives that are involved have insurance. Many, see, as this thing goes on, many issues will
come to the fore.
Yeah, they will emerge out of it. Because it is
Okay, going forward now, we see this situation has happened. Do we expect government to restrict mining of license, giving of license to miners to state governors so there can be proper regulation, or the federal government bring out policies that will ensure this doesn't happen again?
I think that will stop right on the table of the National Assembly. It has to be backed by a law. This is real now. I mean, we're not postulating now. We're not talking about theory.
Because it could have happened in other states.
This matter is not even the first time this is happening. This is not the first time it's happening. I think it happened in Osun State at some point.
Some point. That's a while ago. But it's not at this magnitude.
It's still the same thing. Even if the magnitude is different, but it has happened before.
The early warning signs, the warning signs have been that we don't know what else would have happened. What if a truck carrying this dynamite was passing through a busy community and it exploded next to a filling station? God forbid. So these are the issues that government will have to look at. The Senate, the National Assembly, we have to look into this. These mining processes have to be reviewed, obviously. And for me, we're talking about restructuring, we're talking about true federalism, we're talking about many other things. This is the time to take one step in the direction that would serve a lot of good.
All right. We have to leave this conversation here now. Dr. Obajide Ilugbo, PR practitioner, social development advocate, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Right. As Nigerians settle into